Yep. So what I'll do, I'm Andrew Lewis with MBM, and we're going to be going over our Precision Card Pro with you guys today. One of the things that we just incorporated into this is the BizCard Cut software, and we have our software to partner with us right now, Lightrod. We have Jim and Zach from Lightrod who are going to be giving us a really quick overview of the software and what it can do for the customer. Like all of our other products, it's going to be included for the first year with the product. And then if the customer wants to continue to use it, of course, they can pursue that with Light Rod, continue the licensing for that. Um, so Jim and Zach, if you guys want to just give a really quick overview of the software for us, and then once we do that, we can get into the actual demo, and I'll show the sheets and kind of correlate what you guys are talking about as we go through the machine.
Okay, great, Andrew. Thank you. I think Zach's going to go ahead and take the team uh, through a quick overview. I do want to highlight, though, this is pretty exciting news in terms of MBM launching this small but mighty cutter. And as always, we partnered up with MBM to provide a very robust software that's going to allow customers to very quickly, efficiently, and effectively create the documents that you're going to see here to be able to cut on this cutter. And with that, let me hand it over to Zach, and he's going to highlight some of the key features of the software that is bundled with this cutter. Zach?
Yep. Thank you guys very much. Yeah, I'm not going to take up too much time, but really excited about this new cutter and the new software, BizCard Cut. Very, very similar to those of you who may be familiar with the other products that we partner and support MBM finishing equipment with. It is a full-fledged, fully supported imposition and variable data software, but it's very targeted to this specific machine. So it's a supports all the preset templates of the cutter here that we're going to be looking at, but only those templates. So in either buying this cutter or selling it to your customers, you can let them know or be confident that you have everything you need, whether you have tools in-house or not already. You have everything you need to create all the preset templates for this cutter with lots of features you may want to grow into or need right away, like variable data, complex variable data. It's something that follows very, very similar workflows to all of our other family of products that we support MBM finishing equipment with. So if you're familiar, if you or your customers are familiar with those, it'll be literally it's something that you're comfortable with getting started with right away. If not, we are including, we're going to have some really great training videos as well as a intro live session with myself or one of our trainers here to get you up and running with getting from a support side, getting understanding how to create jobs to print, to use this new cutter here. It will have built into it, just like we try to do with all of our family of products. It has built into it all the features that are supported with this specific cutter. So Andrew's going to talk a little bit about the different types of alignment marks and precision capabilities that the cutter supports in order to combat print shift and things like that for extra accuracy. Just know, we're not going to visually get into it, but just know that all of those features are built into the PDFs that we're going to be creating, automatically. There's no toggling of settings or making sure you place them in the right spot. All the preset templates will have all of the alignment marks that Andrew's going to show you in a minute here built into the templates. And then, of course, it's as easy as use as possible to get started day one. You're going to install the software, find one of the templates you need to use, add your artwork, create a PDF. And then lastly, it's part of the infrastructure of Lightrod's tools. So it has for those if you're using the software for just for those templates, you have all the capabilities of our variable data and imposition software. So high level variable data capabilities, and of course the very efficient PDF creation. Um, and then very, very similar format as I think we've already mentioned quickly here. Very similar format in you get it when you purchase the machine, no additional cost. You get a license with the purchase the machine bundled for 1 year. Use it out. The customers can use it. Anyone who purchases the machine, try it out. If you like it, great. It's a very, very low annual fee, $120 a year after the first year included, with additional discounts if you buy multiple years up front. I think that's it. I think that's everything I got. And of course, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to Lightrod about anything on the workflow side, and we'll be happy to answer those.
Thanks, Zach. Jim, do you have anything else?
No, I do want to mention we will be on the call. So if there are any questions that come up during the call,
Sure.
we're here to help. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys, as we're going through the machine, if you have any questions that you want to ask, you certainly can stop me and ask, or if you want to hold them to the end, we can do that as well. So whatever works for you guys the best. I know sometimes if I wait too long, I forget to ask something. So, but we'll get started really quick. So this is our Precision Card Pro. It's a nice little tabletop unit. Of course, we have our printed samples that we used our software to print, which is nice. And we'll start on the feed side. So we'll look at the samples really quick so we can talk about some of the things that Zach was talking about. So, of course, all we did was pull up this 8.5 by 11 template in the software, and then we picked our PDFs. We actually have two different names on this sheet. So being able to use the multiple PDFs and having variable data is nice to have. What the data does, the software also does for you, of course, your cut marks are going to be here. This machine is capable of reading a registration mark. And so the software already knows what size to build that at, where to locate it at. And we also have this thin black line down the middle. And this is going to be used with our laser dot to actually allow you to center your sheet under the slitters so that it just eliminates your multiple sheets of testing. It lets you get it lined up correctly to start with. And we'll show you that in just a second as well. So you'll have this in 8.5 by 11. You'll have it in 8.5 by 14. You'll have some single cut options, some double cut options for bleeds. And then, of course, there are there's 6 presets between with the cut marks on and off, single cut, double cuts. And then you do have 10 other slots available for custom sizing if you wanted to build some custom size templates. So you could do that as well for different widths of cards and length of cards. So you do have that ability. So starting on the feeding side of it, we have this nice self-centering table. So it's just like our other folders that we sell, the same self-centering type of ability. So once you loosen these up, both sides move together for centering, which makes it nice. And you can lock these down. We talked about that laser function. So you have your little red button here on the side. So when you push that, you're going to get about 10 seconds. And if you look right now, you can see my laser is off just a hair. So what I can do is I can adjust my table with my side knob here, and I can center that laser right back on top of the line, just like that. And now I'm assured that my gutter is centered where it's supposed to be, and then my side slitters are centered where they're supposed to be as well. We do have a manual skew here on the right-hand side, and there's a scale right here at the top. So it will show you a little scale of where 0 is. So you can adjust for some skew in your print if you have that going on. And then again, this knob on the side here is for centering up your sheets when you put them in the center feed. So you just turn it clockwise or counterclockwise, and then you have your scale here on the back, and you'll see it move the sheets side to side so that you get a nice centering going on. Some other nice features about this one, we have paper feed pressure adjustment, and then below here we also have your separator pressure adjustment. So that helps you with different thicknesses of paper to make sure they're feeding correctly, also to make sure you're not getting double feeds. And the ops manual gives you scales of where to start based on your paper weight and size to make sure that's running correctly. Your table up and down, so you drop it down to engage your table, lift it up to feed or to put more paper into the cutter itself. So we can drop that back down. You just see it going up and down. You do have a little extension here that you put on once you take it out of the box to be able to support your 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14 paper. Moving toward the top of the machine, we have a nice removable cover. That's nice. If the cover does come off, there's a switches here on the side. Oh, go ahead. Okay. This cover is nice to be able to open up because now you have access to your feed wheels here, and these are again spring loaded. So you're able to put these in and take them back out for cleaning and for replacement if you need to. These rubber wheels just pop right off and you can put new rubber wheels on, which is nice as they start to wear. You also have a separator pad that's under the center wheel that's replaceable, and a little rubber feed pad up under that that also, you can see it right below the wheel there. Those are all consumables. They're easily replaced to be able to make sure the machine keeps running well for you. So just easy to get out, easy to put right back in. They just lift out and go right back on. So another nice thing about this cover is they put a shaded clear cover on it. So as the paper's running, you can actually see the paper feeding through, which is nice. So if you have any type of issue or double feed or jams or anything, you can kind of see as it's happening. So if you're at the machine, it's just nice to be able to see that as well. On the back side of the unit, we have our slitter module, which is nice here. Essentially, all you have to do is take your 2 thumb screws out, push your locks toward the center, and then lift up and it comes right out. Very easy to replace those. These, having said that, we can talk about that really quick. So for your knife, you should expect plus or minus 100,000 sheets of 8.5 by 11 to feed through and cut on your business cards. And on your slitters, they're estimating about 150,000 cycles. So, and that's an estimate. So depending on what kind of weight you're running and what type of paper, and whether you're doing soft touch or you're doing some sort of laminate, that may increase or reduce your life of those materials. But we will have those available and readily available for you folks to buy and replace those as needed. Your static bars also will be replaceable. So as they start to wear, you'll be able to replace those as well. Nice thing about the slitter unit that we have here, it's not a fixed unit like you see on some other machines. So some other machines will give you a 3.5-inch slitter unit, but it's fixed. There's no movement in it. This one, you can see the scale here. It goes down to about 1.75, and it goes up to about 3. I believe it's just short of 4, 3.933. I need to look and see for that, but not quite 4 inches. But you have this nice center wheel here, and so all you're going to do, I'm not sure if you guys can see that on the scale as the scale is moving, but it's moving from 3.5 inches toward 4 inches. So and what it does, it moves your 2 center slitters are fixed for your gutter at 0.393 inches, and they don't move. It's your 2 outer slitters, your left and your right, that actually move in unison as you turn this wheel. So which is nice because it always makes sure you get the same width of card on both sides. There's no deviation from that. So another nice feature that they have. Then of course your card catcher is here. It just uses a little key slot to come off and on, which is nice if you need to take it off. And then you also have this nice trash receptacle, and it has a window so you can start to see as it fills up. But it also reminds you every time you turn the machine on to empty out your receptacle. So you're just going to essentially pull it out, and you can see we've been cutting some different cards and things on it. So it stacks them very nicely between your gutter pieces and your front and rear leading edge and trail edge pieces. Nice stacked rows. So it makes it very efficient when it's collecting the trash. So, and of course, this has a sensor on it as well. So if you take any of these parts out or remove covers, the machine's not going to run. It's not going to let you hurt yourself. So if we go back to the top, we have a few different buttons and patterns here. So what it's telling us right now is we're running a business card, G for gutter, 10 up, letter size, normal paper. The 15 means that we have it set for 15 sheets. If we want to turn that off and just run everything in the stack, we would hit set and start, and then that goes off. But for this demonstration, we're going to hit set and start and put it back on. And then over here on the right-hand side, we have a 0, and that just means it's going to count every time the knife makes a cut. So on this 10-up sheet, it's going to make 5 cuts. So whatever that number is, for business cards, you would multiply that by 2, and that would tell you how many business cards that you have cut in that particular run. If that said 35 and I wanted to reset it for another job, I could press set and stop, and it will make that 0 again. And we can see that once we run them really quick. So Let's run some cards and let you guys see it run 15 sheets really quick, and then we'll come back and we'll just go through select and pattern and mode and show you some of the things that you can do with the machine and how it works. Um, but before we change all these settings, let's just go ahead and run it real quick. So I've got 15 sheets set up. So I'm just gonna hit start, and then you'll see it feed from here, and you'll see it start stacking over there. And you can see on the screen, it's actually counting down. So every time it finishes a sheet, you're going from 15 to 10, and then it'll go to 9. So right now we've done 30 cycles of the 9th. So somebody asked, why would the customer care about the cut count? So when you're doing 10 up on a sheet, maybe it doesn't make so much difference. The customer, it may make more difference if doing 8.5 by 14 where you're getting 12 up. It just makes the math a little bit easier for you. So you don't, if you just threw a stack in and say, you wanted to just not tell it how many sheets to cut, you just wanted to cut as many as you needed, you could just double that number and you would know that now we have 75. So that means in that little short time, we just cut 150 business cards. So, yeah, just knowing how many cards you count. I mean, we have that on all of our bigger machines. It tells you the same. You'll get a cut count for how many you're cutting. And also we have the countdown if you want to use that as well. Or if you blank it back out, it would just run everything that was in the stack. So really quickly, we'll go through some of the menu options. So you have just a couple options when you hit select. So you're going to have a business with the cut mark on it that says norm, and then you're going to have a user function, and you can have up to 10 different user 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and those are custom jobs. And then you have the business without the cut mark. So essentially in this first box, you're going to choose whether it's cut mark or no cut mark or a custom job. So let's pretend like we just chose, we wanted to cut mark on ours. So next we're going to go to pattern, and we're going to tell it whether we want G for gutter for 10 up business card on letter, or do we want gutter 12 legal with a cut mark. So we're going to go back between those, or we have 10 up with a single cut with a cut mark. So we have those three options to cycle through. So we pick one of those. Once we pick the one that we want, we can go through with the mode button and we can actually see everything that's been set for that particular job. So we can see our black cut mark is on. We can see how many cards are on that sheet. So we can use these pattern and mode now are up and down buttons. So we can scroll through that really quick. We can see the length of the card. The width and length is 2 inches. We can see where our gutter is. One thing about the gutter, which is nice, so if you have any shrink or stretch, this one is set up at 0.125 gutter, and our printer was in the office was printing a little bit differently. So I went in and changed the gutter size to 0.122 to make it print a little bit better. So you can deal with a little stretch and shrinkage by changing your gutters manually here, just like we do on our bigger machines in our magnification screens, which is nice. It works to help you with that. And of course, your size, it's a letter size, thicker norm. The length of the paper is 11 inches. So the top is the lead edge adjust. And if your lead edge should have been a 1/4 inch and it comes out 3/10 of an inch, then you could make that adjustment here, plus or minus, to be able to account for drift of your image if you're not using a cut or registration mark. If you're just using lead edge, then this would help with that part. Um, and then again, we got it set for 15 sheets on this one to run 15 and stop. And we're back to the beginning again. And so once you go through that, if there's nothing that you want to change, or if you did make a change, you just hit set. It remembers the settings that you just put in, and then again you hit start and you're ready to go. So that essentially, some other features that it does have ultrasonic double feed detection, which is nice. So you really don't want to get double feeds in this machine when you're running the really heavy paper. You don't want to take a chance of damaging your knife or your slitters or causing a jam. And I've run it enough that if it does double feed, it's very good about stopping it well before it gets to the knife. So I've not had any jams like that. Got a lot of variability on your pressure adjustments to run different weights of paper. So going from light to heavy paper is not a problem. The centering, self-centering guide, plus your laser, and then your self-centering paper here, your paper table being able to move back and forth to correct from some margin issues. If your print's off a little bit, is super helpful. It's of course going to be covered by a 1-year warranty on all parts. So I know I looked at some of our competitors. Some of them are 90 days. Some will do a year and then only 90 days on electrical. So ours will be the standard 1-year warranty on this one. So you'll be covered from there. This is coming from our manufacturer in Japan. So it's a well-made product, quality made. It's going to stand up. They're going to, we stand behind them. We're going to give you good technical support. I think along with the software that's available with this one is really what's going to make it stand apart from the other ones out there. It's just as fast. It's just as robust. You're looking at 64 GSM up to 350 GSM. One of the questions I did was how well does it handle like double-sided or two-sided soft touch lamination? Or lamination in general. I only had some samples that I'd run for something else before this came up, and I had some double-sided soft touch laminate on some cards, but they actually were over spec. They were like close to 16 point. I think they mic'd out at 0.155. So technically over spec for this machine. I went ahead and ran them anyway. The machine cut them and spit them out. There was a little variance because I was getting a little bit of pull because the cards are so thick. They weren't 100% the same size. So I did run some that just had single-sided 1.2 mil gloss, and they all cut fine, and they were 14 point. So I'm going to do some more testing with soft touch. I'm going to try to get some 200, 250, and 300 GSM. I'm going to run soft touch on one side and soft touch on both sides, run those through the machine, and then we'll get a better idea of how much that would be 1.7 soft touch as well, 1.7 mil. See what it actually can handle, and then we can revisit that and talk a little bit more about that part. But yeah, it's a great robust little machine that weighs about 65 pounds. I mean, I had to pick it up and move it around this morning, so it's pretty manageable. You don't have to have a heavy table or anything for it to be on. It's nice and compact footprint. The menu is pretty simple. Once you learn the three little buttons here, it's pretty simple to walk through it. Lots of adjustability to account for printing error or printing issues, which is what we come to expect from our partner that produces these. So, yep, we'll go over a few more specs really quick with you. So what we ran just a minute ago was a minute, and we ran 150 business cards. Your paper weight is about 64 to 350 GSM. Sheet capacity is 0.78 inches. So we had some 245 GSM paper, and that accounted for about 80 sheets of 245 GSM paper. So of course, if you're lighter, you're going to get more. If you're heavier, you're going to get a little bit less. But that tends to be a little bit more than what our competitors are able to do as well. Paper sizes, you can run 5 by 5 up to 9 1/4 by 14 inch paper. We're doing offset art, coated stock. You can run color paper on this as well. You do have the ability to put a white cut mark or registration mark on the paper, which is nice. So you can do colored paper with different variations of black and white, and the registration mark reader will read that as well. Standard power, 115 volt. Trying to think, it does have power saving mode, which is nice. So if it was sitting for about 10 minutes earlier and I came back and it was in power saving mode already. Again, we talked about you can remove and replace the feed wheels, the separator pads, and the slitter unit for service and cleaning really easily. The end user won't have any issue with that, which makes it nice. So that's the biggest parts of the actual machine itself. Do you guys have any questions on that or any thoughts about it?
Hi, Andrew. It's Lindsay. How are you?
Hey, boss.
Just following here from home. I had a quick question. How many cards, how many pieces of paper can you put in the input tray?
Okay, so yeah, so we talked about a minute ago. So we put in 800 sheets of 245 GSM, or 80 sheets. I'm sorry, not 800, 80 sheets, which is it gives you 0.78 inches of space. That 240 to 300, 300, you're probably going to be down to around 60 sheets. So depending on what weight card stock you're running, you'll be anywhere from 60 to 100 sheets. Would be my best guess. It does feed from the top, so of course you'd have to let it run out before you refeed it or refill that. So
Are these in stock already?
they are. We have plenty in stock. They're ready to ship. And I know that we've been in touch with Light Rod and they're on the call. But my understanding is that we should. But by the time print rolls around, we're going to have the software ready to show it print, and it'll be available to go out with the machines as they go out.
Very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, this is Karen from Light Rod. Yep, Andrew,
Karen.
we will have that software available within the next week. And so if any machines ship before then, we'll go ahead and get them their installation information as soon as it's available.
Sure. Thank you, Karen.
This is Eric from Guaranteed. Do you have price sheets available?
Yeah, we do have pricing on this. Give me just 1 second. I did not. I guess that was the one thing that coming from the technical side just didn't occur to me. I'm pretty sure this thing is 69. Never a good video without some sort of hiccup.
Hey, Andrew, I believe it
Yeah.
it retails at $68.99.
68.99. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank
right.
you.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Andrew, Peter Hutchinson here.
Hey,
How are
Pete.
you?
Good, Peter. How are you?
Long time no talk to.
I know.
Hey, quick question. I probably missed it. What's the weight of the stock that you ran today?
Oh, this stock on these cards, this one's not that heavy. This is gosh, it's got to be, I don't know, it's probably maybe 12 point. Is it that high? Maybe 10-point paper. This is pretty light stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just what we already had it. We already had this stuff pre-printed with this on there. I've run some heavier, like I said, I ran that 15.5 point stuff through it. And I think the only reason that it really had an issue is because I had soft touch on both sides on top of that. So, but yeah, that 350 is a true representation of what you can run through it.
Okay,
So now
great.
when you start laminating it, you're probably going to drop that GSM weight down a bit. It depends on how much you're putting on there, but you may be in that 300, 325 range if you're going to run some type of laminate on top of it.
Yep, understood.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Looks good.
Thanks, Peter.
Hey, Andrew, if you run laminates, is it pretty easy to clean the slitters? or don't they really pick up much adhesive?
I haven't seen. I mean, they're self-sharpening, so they're sort of cleaning themselves. I mean, when you're running a laminate, I don't. I've cut them on our other machines, our bigger arrow cuts, and I haven't seen an issue with the slitters getting gummed up or anything like that. It's not quite the same as if you're cutting labels, where you
Okay,
have a really sticky. I mean, that stuff is bonded so well to the paper that it really doesn't stick to the slitters, from what I've seen.
okay, thank you.
Andrew,
Yes. Hey, Frank.
how are you?
Good.
Apparently you ran the laminate, so I'm guessing that coated stock is not an issue.
No, one CS, two CS, one sided, two sided coated stock is fine. Yeah, the back side of this stuff is coated. This is one side coated. It's just on the other side. Yeah. Yep. So coated stock is fine. Yeah, I mean, it really is it's for its size. It's a very quick machine. Some of the other units that are the same size are not quite as quick. I looked at some of our competitors, Duplo and several of the others, and I don't see them talking about double feed detection. Whether or not they have it, they don't spec it out that way. They don't put it on their spec sheets, which would assume they would if they had it. Our speed is comparable to those, if not faster than several of them. Our paper sizes are similar. I mean, they do have some bigger units that run much larger paper, but they're still, you know, putting 40 sheets of 200-pound paper in there, 200 GSM paper. So, yeah, they're pretty limited with what they can do on that part of it. Yeah, this one just has lots of options to help with print error, the self-centering table and the self-centering feed guide, the different separator pads that you get with it for thick and thin paper, and then of course you have pressure and separator adjustment that you don't get on a lot of machines. Just lead to a good, reliable machine that gives you a good, reliable outcome, good product on the finish side. Just easy for the operator to set up and use. You know, it's not a difficult machine at all. And with the software, it just takes all the guesswork out of having that issue, which I know in the past when we've had BC10s and 12s, people, would struggle with getting their templates correct and they were having a hard time with that. So now they don't have to struggle with that anymore. It just shows up, drop their PDFs into the preset templates. They print a PDF in 30 seconds and they're ready to start coding on the machine. So. And again, we'll talk about, I mentioned earlier, but for anybody that maybe didn't hear or popped on, this machine does come with a 1 year warranty. Most of our competitors are 90 days. Some of them do have a 1 year warranty, but then on electrical, they give you a 90-day warranty. So not quite as robust of a warranty as what we're offering as well with this machine. So just another thing to give your customers peace of mind when they buy the machine, they're getting a good quality product that's gonna last and it's gonna be reliable for them.
And for the warranty, what's covered in that? Is it parts, labor?
It's parts. Parts are covered for the first year. Um, huh? It, yep. I'm gonna get to the part. So parts are covered, excluding wearables. So of course your knife and your slitter knives and your feed wheels and your separator pads are all where as they're being used. Wouldn't be covered, but yeah, all your standard parts, just like on all of our machines. Yep. I mean, of course, if you got a machine that had an issue right out of the gate from the factory, we always take care of our dealers and our customers, so we would make sure it was right. So in that sense, yeah, we would take care of what we normally do with having a tech come out and making sure the parts are replaced or replacing the machine.
Andrew, it's
And
Peter again. Do you know how heavy that machine is and how it would ship?
It's listed at 68 pounds. This one, the box is pretty big. So you can ship it FedEx. FedEx has gotten so expensive, sometimes it's cheaper to ship it freight, but you could ship either way. Just because of the box size is about the same size as a 408A folder, weighs about the
Okay.
same. So whichever way that you're shipping our folders now, or 208, 408, 508, you could ship it the same way. It just depends on if you need it to go ground, it may cost a little bit more depending on where it's at versus shipping in a truck.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, so so I mean, I'm able to grab it from the sides and pick it up. I had to pick it up, put it on the floor, and move it around a little bit today. So it's not undoable by the end user. You know, it's not like an 1800S, so a little more manageable.
Okay. Thanks.
And it's got, you know, a nice solid metal body. So you got, you know, when you pick up on it, you know, it's got nice places to hold on to. It has it's got all your safety stickers. It reminds you not to lift by your feed table, and it reminds you again in several different places not to lift here, so that you don't do any damage to the machine. So they've done a good job of putting the appropriate labeling on there to make sure the end user doesn't do anything they shouldn't do and cause an issue with the machine outside of normal use.
Good afternoon, Andrew. This is your
Hey,
friend. This is your friend Pat Patton with Standard Graphics. Great job this afternoon. Thank
how
you.
are you doing, Pat?
Good. Thank you very much. I'm assuming your manufacturer in Japan is Uchida. And doesn't Uchida make you Aero Cut?
They
So,
do.
so is there any Aero Cut intelligence in this machine, maybe? Because they're an excellent manufacturer. We all know that.
Yeah,
They
they
make
are
the
an excellent
covers.
manufacturer, but yeah, it's not definitely not the same machine. Yeah, it's not the same. Yeah, you're not gonna send jobs back and forth. It is a manually programmable machine. Um, this one is, you know, this is just for folks who are doing business cards that don't necessarily or aren't ready necessarily to step up to a Nano Max yet. And you know, that's kind of how we look at this, as like a stepping stone from, you know, business cards on this to step up to a Nano Max as the next step in the progression. They get to see the software, they get to see how easy it is to use, and then once their production gets high enough that it's outpacing one of these machines, then we would move them into a Nano Max or an AeroCut X maybe. So yeah. But then there are also small companies that will never outpace this. This will be perfect for them from now on. So we wanted to have something that was nice and robust that would last for them as well, regardless of whether they plan to upgrade later or they were going to stay with a small business card cutter.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Pat.
Yes, sir.
Andrew,
Yes.
do we have a minimum maximum card size? I see that you have the ability to adjust your slitters in and out on the sides, and I
Yeah.
guess you can do lengths. Like, could you do, for example, a mass card? I think that's
So
like 4x2.5 or something like that.
yeah, give me 1 second, Frank. I gotta see what it's. This width is maxed out at 3 point. Where is that thing at? Why is it not showing? So you can't quite get the 4 inches on the width of this card,
Got it.
Frank. It's just shy of 4 inches, and then the length of the maximum length is 5.905. So you could do, you know, some people are doing 3.5 by 5 postcards. People are doing 4.25 by 5.5. Those are other than 5 by 7. Those are probably the most popular two sizes. Um, so yeah, you wouldn't be able to. You can't get the width wide enough. You can do the length. You just couldn't get the width wide enough on these. So I mean, we're really just selling this one as a business card cutter with this particular slitter unit on it. So what's that? Yeah, pricing $68.99 retail cost. And that's pretty much in line with some of our competitors. There are some that are a little bit less expensive, but they don't have a lot of the functions that we have on this machine. They don't look very. I've only seen them on their spec sheets, but the machines themselves don't look very robust. Um, And then there are some that are a little bit more and some are about the same price as ours. They just don't have all of the adjustable slitters, or they don't have the double feed, ultrasonic double feed detection. They don't have the separator and pressure adjustments. So this unit just has a lot of nice built-in features to make the end user's experience simple, and just makes it easy changing from paper size to paper size without a lot of thought. Does anybody else have any other questions or thoughts? If not, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Of course, you can always reach out to me here at MBM, Andrew Lewis. So my email is just andrewl@mbmcorp.com, or you can call our main line and get to my office with extension 1209. So we'll be glad to talk to you or chat with you. And I know if you guys have any questions, we can always get you with Zach at Lightrod, and he can answer any questions on the technical side for the software part that I couldn't answer for you. And then on the technical side, we're certainly glad to answer any questions that you might have. Whoop, hang on a second. Somebody just asked a question, I think. So if you have any questions about dealer cost or pricing or anything, just reach out to your inside sales rep here at MBM. They'll be glad to go over that with you. I think we have some dealers and end users on this particular call. So if you have any questions, just reach out to us at MBM and we'll be glad to help you with that.
Great machine, Andrew. Thank you very much for taking the time. We're excited. We're excited to have this on the available to our dealers and end users.
Yeah, we are too. And we're excited to be able to partner with you guys on this as well to make it a smoother transition for everybody too. So, we certainly appreciate everything you guys have done too to make this come together so quickly for us.
Don't forget, we'll be at Print United, so you guys can come see it in action.
That's right. We'll have this. We'll have our X Pro. We'll have our die cutter there again this year. Our foil glazer 2 will be there. So, along with our 56 cutter and our 5260. So yeah, please come by and see us. And that way, if you have any other questions, we can follow up then, and you can actually see the machines running in person.
And our smiling faces. Don't forget.
Well, most importantly, our smiling faces. That's right.
Thank you so much, everyone. I look forward to seeing everybody at Print United.
Thank you, Lindsay. See you in a couple of weeks. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you much.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you much.
Bye.